Dear students, today we learn difficulties in measuring national income. In India, a special conceptual problem is posed by the existence of a large, unorganized, and non monetized subsistence sector where the barter system still prevails for transacting goods and services. Here, a proper valuation of output is very difficult. Difficulties in measuring national income, transfer payments, difficulties in assessing depreciation allowance, unpaid services, income from illegal activities, protection for self consumption and changing price, capital gains, statistical problems. Now we see one by one. The first one, transfer payments. Government makes payments in the form of pensions, unemployment allowance, subsidies, etc. These are government expenditure, but they are not included in the national income because they are paid without adding anything to the production process. During a year, interest on national debt is also considered transfer payments because it is paid by the government to individuals and firms on their past savings without any productive work. The second one, difficulties in assessing depreciation allowance. Assess means appraise or evaluate or measure. The deduction of depreciation allowances, accidental damages, repair and replacement charges from the national income is not an easy task. It requires high degree of judgment to assess the depreciation allowance and other charges. Next one, unpaid services. A housewife renders a number of useful services like preparation of meals, serving, tailoring, mending, washing, cleaning, bringing up children, etc. She is not paid for them and her services are not directly included in national income. Such services performed by paid servants are included in national income. The reason for the exclusion of her services from national income is that the love and affection of housewife in performing her domestic work cannot be measured in monetary terms. Similarly, there are a number of goods and services which are difficult to be assessed in money terms for the reason stated above, such as rendering services to their friends, painting, signing, dancing, etc. Next one, income from illegal activities. Illegal means சட்டத்திற்கு புறம்பான. Income earned through illegal activities like gambling, smuggling, illicit extraction of liquor, etc. is not included in national income. Such activities have value and satisfy the wants of people, but they are not considered as productive from the point of view of the society. Next one, protection for self-consumption and changing prices. Farmers keep a large portion of food and other goods produced on the farm for self-consumption. The problem is whether that part of produce which is not sold in the market can be included in national income or not. National income by national income by product method is measured by the value of final goods and services at current market prices, but prices do not remain stable, they rise or fall. To solve this problem, economists calculate the real national income at a constant price level by consumer price index. Next, capital gains. The problem also arises with regard to capital gains. Capital gains arise when a capital asset such as house, other property, stocks or shares, etc. is sold at high price than was paid for it at the time of purchase. Capital gains are excluded from national income. Next one, statistical problem. There are statistical problems too. Great care is required to avoid double counting. Statistical data may not be perfectly reliable. Reliable means number tagunda, but unreliable here when they are compiled from numerous resources. Skill and efficiency of statistical staff and cooperation of people at large are also equally important in estimating national income. The following are the some of the statistical problem. Accurate and reliable data are not adequate as farm output in the subsistence sector is not completely informed. In animal husbandry, there are no authentic production data available. Authentic means reliable. Different languages, customs, etc. also create problems in computing estimates. People in India are indifferent to the official inquiries. They are in most cases non-cooperative also. Most of the statistical staff are not most of the statistical staff are untrained and inefficient. Therefore, national income estimate in our country are not very accurate or adequate. There is at least 10% margin of error. That is, national income is overestimated or underestimated by at least 10%. That is why the GDP estimate for India varies from 2 trillion US dollar to 5 trillion US dollar. National income and social accounting. National income is also being measured by the social accounting method. Under this method, the transaction among various sectors such as firms, household, government, etc. are recorded and their interrelationship traced. The social accounting framework is useful for economists as well as policy makers because it represents the major economic flows and statistical relationship among various sectors of the economic system. It becomes possible to forecast the trends of economy more accurately. Social accounting and sector. Under this method, the economy is divided into several sectors. A sector is a group of individual or institution having common interrelated economic transaction. The economy is divided into the following sectors: firms, households, government, rest of the world, and capital sector. Firms undertake productive activities, thus they are all organizations which employ the factors of production to produce goods and services. Household or consuming entities and represent the factors of production who receive payment for services rendered by them to firms. Household consume the goods and services that are produced by the firms. Thus, firms make payment to household for their services. Households spend money incomes they receive on the goods and services produced by the firms. This is a circular flow of money between these two groups. Entities means firms. The government sector refers to the economic transaction of public bodies at all levels, center, state, and local, in their work concerning social accounting. Eddy and Peacock have defined government as a collective person that purchases goods and services from firms. This purchase may be financed through taxation, public borrowings, or any other fiscal means. The main function of the government is to provide social goods like defense, public health, education, etc. This means satisfying the collective wants of the society. However, public enterprises like post office and railways are separated from the government sector and included as firms. Next, rest of the world sector relates to international economic transactions of the country. It contains income, export and import transaction, external load transaction, and allied overseas investment income and payments. Capital sector refers to saving and investment activities. It includes the transaction of banks, insurance, corporation, financial houses, and other agencies of the money market that are not included under firms. These agencies merely provide financial assistance to the firm's activities. While assessing sectoral contribution to GDP, the economy is divided into three namely private, secondary, and tertiary sectors. National income and welfare. National income is considered as an indicator of economic well-being of a country. The economic progress of countries is measured in terms of their GDP per capita and their annual growth rate. A country with higher per capita income is supposed to enjoy greater economic welfare with a higher standard of living. But the rise in GDP, the per capita income need not always promote economic welfare. The per capita income as an index of economic welfare suffers from limitations which are stated below. The economic welfare depends upon the consumption of goods and services provided. The greater the proportion of capital goods over consumer goods, the improvement in economic welfare will be lesser. Similarly, the protection of luxuries is meant for rich classes only. Higher GDP with greater environmental hazards such as air, water, and social pollution will be little economic welfare. The protection of war goods will show the increase in national output but not welfare. An increase in per capita income may be due to employment of women and children or forcing workers to work for long hours, but it will not promote economic welfare. Therefore, the physical quality of life index is considered a better indicator of economic welfare. It includes standard of living, life expectancy and expectancy at birth and literacy. National income erosion of national wealth. For achieving higher GDP, larger natural resources are being depleted or damaged. This means reduction of potential for future growth. Hence, it is suggested that while assessing national income, losses of natural resources should be subtracted from national income. National income in terms of US dollar. When Indian national income is expressed in terms of US dollar, the former looks very low. If purchasing power parity method is adopted, India looks better. Social environmental cost. While producing economic goods, many environmental and social barriers are also generated. Hence, they also must be considered while eliminating national income. That's all.